I've watched film of all these guys. I've listened to all the analysts that I respect. I've absorbed their analysis and I've considered my own, and I have a ranking. I would love to hear yours.
Well, yeah, a lot of news, Senior Bowl, since we have last talked about rookie quarterbacks, and a lot of interesting stuff happened. For example, I mentioned before this time in this show that Chris Sims said that Zach Wilson, in his opinion, is the greatest rookie quarterback right now in this class.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, that good.
Well,
so
OMG. Well, let's start it.
Yikes.
So first of all, I've never hid it. I never hid it that I'm in love with Trevor Lawrence, how he plays American football. He is a great leader. He is a great quarterback. He is the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. And we all knew that Andrew Luck was a pretty darn good quarterback in the NFL. The only reason why he wasn't successful is that the Colts just couldn't give him an offensive line. And he was injured way more than he should have. So Lawrence is the first. Second, it's a way harder question. I do remember that last time.
I agree with you that Lawrence is number one, by the way. Let's just go by number two and we'll give our rankings. So let's go to number two. Who do you have at number two?
Yeah, at number two, last time when we have talked about it, I said that it was Trask, in my opinion. And somehow I still feel like I will put Trask into that second position. And I will tell you why. Well, maybe he is not the most NFL-ready quarterback right now, but that guy is smart. He has the leadership. He knows how to fight for something he wants to do. And I do think that these things are way more important than just talent in the NFL. So I do think that he has that that mentality that a lot of quarterback just doesn't have right now in the NFL. So that's why I must say that I do think that he can be better with right coaching than, and a lot of people will hate me after I say that, than Deshaun Watson. He can develop himself better than Deshaun Watson is right now.
Wow. I love Kyle Trask, but my number two quarterback is Kellen Mond. I love Kyle Trask all offseason, but the more I've watched of Kellen Mond, I put him up there because I feel like the upside is a little bit higher because of his athleticism and his mobility. He can just make plays outside of the pocket that even Trask can't. And I think that his throwing ability has like untapped potential there. He never threw for 4,000 yards in a season, but he was on a team that ran the ball a lot and didn't have a lot of playmakers. If he had been at Florida, if he had been at Alabama, he would have been starting at those schools and he would have put up the numbers that Trask put up, Mac Jones put up. I think he's going to be kind of like Justin Herbert in the sense that he was on kind of a rinky-dink team, kind of a rinky-dink offense, but still carried that team to wins all the time, had a lot of experience, and then went to the Senior Bowl and people could be like, oh, you are really athletic. You do fit in, and won the Senior Bowl MVP. And then when they stepped on an NFL field, you could just kind of see it. They fit. So a little bit, that's why I'm comparing him. I think he's really good. I think he's the second best quarterback in the draft. And you're going to see it when he steps on it. He's going to be good right away the way Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert were. Number three.
Sounds fair. Number three. On my list, it's Mac Jones.
Ooh.
After our first conversation about rookie quarterbacks, I watched a lot of tapes from Mac Jones, and I still think that he will be a reliable and a good NFL starting quarterback. Although I don't like Alabama quarterbacks at all.
Yes. For good reason.
He is my number three on my list.
Okay. I like Mac Jones a lot, but I'm going with Kyle Trask. I'm with you. I like Mac Jones, but I like Kyle Trask better. They're very similar. They basically are confined to the pocket, but they seem to have the footwork, anticipation, accuracy to win from the pocket, which is rare. You don't see college football producing classic pocket quarterbacks as much anymore. The reason I like Trask better is I see him as being he's great from an empty formation with no running back. There's no running game at Florida, and they would put him back there by himself a lot with 5 wide receivers. Now the receivers were good, the offensive line wasn't, and you're just telling the defense, look, we're dropping back and throwing. And he carved defenses up that way. It's not easy. When I watch Mac Jones, I see a guy who's really good with anticipation and accuracy and all that stuff, but a lot of play action, which always helps a quarterback. I mean, that creates way bigger throwing windows for a quarterback. It slows down the pass rush because they're playing run before they play the pass. If you put Kyle Trask in that offense where he could fake the handoff to Najee Harris and then throw downfield, his numbers would have been crazy. I think he has the field vision, the quick decision making, and the accuracy to be really good. People say he has a noodle arm. Nah, he just takes a lot. He can take velocity off the ball. He throws a very catchable ball, and he's a fantastic deep thrower, which shows you that he has velocity, just like Mac Jones.
Yeah. The thing is with Mac Jones, just to connect back into your opinions about Kyle Trask, is that I do think that Mac Jones can maybe transfer into NFL easier just because he learned in a pro system, in a way more NFL-like system than Kyle Trask. That's why he can be maybe more successful at start. But in the end, I do think that Kyle Trask has a way better upside than Mac Jones has.
He's also bigger than Mac Jones. People don't talk about that. I think size matters, especially for pocket quarterbacks who aren't going to escape the pocket when bodies are around them. Kyle Trask just can stand there and make throws with people hanging off him, kind of like Big Ben. And Mac Jones looks a little CJ Beathard-ish when people start when the bodies start closing in. They look about the same, really, physically. He's better than CJ Beathard, but okay. Number 4 on your list.
It's Mond.
Okay.
It's Mond. I like him. I do think that he can be successful in the NFL. He didn't have that targets that, for example, Kyle Trask or Mac
all
Jones
of them. Trevor Lawrence, all of them,
in college football. But I do see some flows with him.
Okay.
And, I'm not sure that he is a great field reader as a quarterback. Because, there are not so many examples of it. And they are just running an easier scheme than most of the NFL teams are running right now in the NFL. So that's why I'm not sure that he can transfer in the NFL as successfully as, for example, Trevor Lawrence or Trask or Mac Jones could.
Mm-hmm.
But he has the upside.
Mm-hmm.
He is throwing the ball most of the times beautifully. I must admit it. Yeah. He has a great arm for deep throws. And that's why I do think that he earns that 4th position. But I must be careful with him, and I must say that everybody should be careful with him. We drafted him.
Yeah.
He needs a great QB coach and a great head coach and a great system, which helps him developing into an NFL quarterback. So maybe he has way more needs as a quarterback as those 3 that I mentioned before.
Okay, I see what you're saying. For number 4, I'm going Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones a lot, but I think Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond have just a little bit more physical gifts and upside. Mac Jones has gotten the most. He's really good for a guy who looks a lot like Nick Mullins. I mean, he's not that big. He throws a really nice deep ball. His pocket presence is terrific. His anticipation is terrific, but I really think he has no physical gifts in the sense that CJ Beathard has no physical gifts. And that scares me just in saying, like, what is his upside really? Who are the 6'2" immobile pocket quarterbacks that were great in the NFL? Usually the guys who can't move are 6'5", Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. The 6'2" version, like those guys usually can move a little bit. Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana, Steve Young. So I'm thinking, Kurt Warner couldn't move. He was similar, but Kurt Warner had like the quickest release of all time. It took him till he was about 30 years old before he could even play in the NFL. He was in freaking Arena League. I feel like Mac Jones is scary because we all agree he's better than Tua, but what does that mean? Tua might be a career backup. So is Mac Jones just a better Tua, or is he going to actually be a good starter? I think he's going to be a good starter, but I have some questions, and that's why I put him fourth. Just the physical stuff.
I do think
looks like CJ Beathard.
I do think that he can be a great fit for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
I think that that's the greatest fit for him right now in the NFL.
Yes. Yes, I think so. It'll be good. I mean, he'd be doing a lot of the stuff that Teddy Bridgewater was doing, Jameis was doing, Breeze was doing. Yep. Okay, how about number 5?
For me, it's Zach Wilson.
Me too. That's exactly where I put him, number 5. Why do you put him there?
Wow. The guy is great, I must say. That his tapes showing a great athlete, a great quarterback, and just a great football player. But if you are digging into the depths of American football, you can see that, as I mentioned, our previous time when we were talking about rookie quarterbacks, that he hadn't played against any great defenses in college football.
Yeah.
So we don't have a sample size of him playing against elite defenses.
He's got all day to throw. His receivers are open.
Really?
It's weird. He had one good year in college.
Yeah.
2020. When he played by far the weakest schedule he ever played. He had all day to throw. His receivers were wide open. Are his receivers NFL receivers? Probably not. Maybe one or two of them might be on a practice squad, but they were better than the corners they were going up against. The scheme was really good. There was a lot of play action, a lot of rollout, half-field, predetermined reads. And the guy was nothing special in 2018. No. Nothing special in 2019. All of a sudden, he has this awakening and he improves a lot. To me, he could be a big-time bust. He didn't prove it for more than 1 year. He never backed this. If he could go back to college one more year and do it again, I'd feel more comfortable about spending the top 3 pick for him. But he's going to go to a terrible team like the Jets, and he's going to be expected to do better than Sam Darnold did, and he won't.
Yeah, I do think that he is a boom or bust prospect.
Yep. And
you just can't give an early first rounder for a boom or bust prospect.
It looks like he's playing 7-on-7 football at BYU in 2020. Yep. In 2019, it was a little bit tougher, and he threw like 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in a season. And that guy's going to go number 2 in the draft like 2 years later. I'm sorry. A lot of mediocre players have had one great year. I mean, Robert Griffin had one great year in college, and it was better than Zach Wilson's year. It was in the Big 12 against some NFL players. So Zach Wilson scares me, but I do like him better than the people I have later on the list because he's got a very quick release. He is athletic. He has upside.
Yeah,
but he's going to get drafted way too high and go to a bad team and be expected to be freaking Kyler Murray or something right away, and that's not him.
Well, not the same position, but somehow he reminds me of Arik Armstead.
Yeah. Somehow. I see what you mean. Yeah.
So we drafted Arik Armstead just because he's upside.
Yeah. Someone said RG3 wasn't a bust. He just got injured. Well, I think that's probably what's going to happen to Zach Wilson. He runs around a lot. He's not gonna. I mean, he's gonna take big hits in the NFL that he didn't take at BYU playing against nobody teams. His playing style scares me. I wonder about his durability. He holds the ball a long time. He plays like he's got no pass rush around him because he doesn't.
Yeah, and he had a shoulder injury before.
He had a shoulder injury. He's had surgery.
Yeah.
He has an injury. He's a 1-year wonder. He had 2 years of mediocre at best production and play. He was playing nobodies this year during a pandemic. He only was in 2 close games all year and lost one of them. Scary. He could work out, but I just feel like he's got a laundry list of questions and concerns that bother me. I mean, everyone held Josh Rosen's upbringing against him. He was too rich. Zach Wilson is way richer than freaking Josh Rosen. Zach Wilson's like the richest man in the world. So I don't know. It scares me. He's a lot like Johnny Manziel. Like if John, And you see Johnny Manziel these days playing that fan-controlled football league with no pass rush. That's Zach Wilson at BYU. He's 7-on-7 football. He looks great. He looks freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It's like 8 steps into his throws and just fires it across the field. Great, dude. Nice.
Well, here in Hungary, there's an arena football league.
Okay.
Every offseason.
There you go.
And
hey, Zach Wilson's going to be playing in that a few years.
Yep.
Okay, who's number 6?
My number 6 is Justin Fields.
Me too.
Justin Fields. I do like him. I see his upside, but I do think that he is a one-year wonder. He's a worried quarterback, and somebody says that he's smart. He's a great athlete, and those things like that. But okay, there's a proof that he's a great athlete. But I don't think that he is a fast thinker on football field.
No.
And that's a huge problem in American football right now. Yes. While we are talking about the league is just transferring into a pass-heavy league, where the 49ers is right now the only team who tries to be, which tries to be run-heavy. And
True.
You just don't give a quarterback who is a one-read quarterback a first-round pick.
No. And it's because, like, you see him, he tries to go through his reads, but he just takes him forever.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
Slow.
You just don't have time for that.
And stuck.
If you are just not a fast thinker as a quarterback, you are just
also. So he's slow from A to B to C, and I think his throwing motion is long. He does not have a quick release. I don't think he's going to be particularly consistent on the short stuff, the slants, the quick outs, all that stuff. He makes very difficult throws down the field, but the easy stuff, he's too inconsistent. He misses open receivers all the time. He'll see him in way too long to get him there. And as a runner, big and fast, but not particularly elusive. And that's why he got his ribs broken at the end of the season. He just let a guy square him up. I think Trey Lance is actually a better runner than Justin Fields. He's more elusive. He has more gears that he can. Anyway. Yeah, Justin Fields scares me. I think he's going to be another bust. He's going to end up going top 10, and he's going to really let teams down. Justin Fields, number 6. Who you got number 7? Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey Lance. I have my own questions about Justin Fields, and I have way more questions about Trey Lance. I just can't see how he can be successful in the NFL. I don't see a coaching staff who can just build up a team on his skills. And I don't see a team which can be successful just because of him being a quarterback right now in the NFL. You just don't give a first-round pick for that. Don't.
No.
Neither a second rounder.
So, no. He's a day 3 pick. He may not be able to play quarterback. He's a wildcat quarterback who's kind of more like Taysom Hill, best case scenario. I don't think he'll ever be a full-time starting quarterback. Nagatani says, who has the fastest release in this class? To me, it's either, who has a quick release? Mac Jones has a quick release. Kyle Trask has a quick release. Kellen Mond has a quick release. And Zach Wilson has a quick release. Trevor Lawrence does not. That's the one thing. We didn't really talk much about him. He's the best player in this draft. He's been proven for 3 years. Don't overthink this one. He's really good. And he's athletic. Excuse me. But he does not have a quick release. He's 6'6" and gangly. 6'6", 213 with very long arms and what seems like very long legs and what seems like very long arms. I think that's going to hold him back from ever being like a top 5 quarterback in the league. Just his ability to make quick snap throws off his back foot under pressure. He seems like he kind of needs to get the whole apparatus, you know what I'm saying, moving. But that's my only nitpick is the long arms. Other than that, he's not gonna be Joe Flacco. He can be better than that. But no, when Chris Sims puts Zach Wilson ahead of Trevor Lawrence, that's the reason why. It's if your offense like the Raiders or the Niners, where everything is within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, then you're kind of wasting Trevor Lawrence's ability. Same with Justin Fields. Justin Fields would be terrible on the Niners. There's too many short throws. Trevor Lawrence should be throwing down the field and behind a good offensive line. Niners don't have any of that. They have a terrible offensive line and a quick passing game. So maybe Zach Wilson in theory would be a better fit. Only problem is Zach Wilson is a complete mirage. He's fool's gold. Yeah. But someone like that is what they want.
And I don't know if you know the story, but when Zach Wilson got his contract from the BYU, he went to his prom with 2 BYU cheerleaders.
See, if Josh Rosen did that, they would have been so mad at him. But Zach Wilson does it, and they're like, hey, nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know. Something weird about that guy. And it's like when you watch the Coastal Carolina game that he lost, he did play decently in that game. But it was clear that Coastal Carolina's game plan was to rough him up. They just kept punking him. They throw him on the ground and hit him. And I think their attitude was he doesn't like being touched. And you could see him like getting up and yelling at him and stuff. And I think they felt they got in his head and that he's not used to being touched because he basically plays 7-on-7 football all the time. So if that's the book on him in college, what do you think NFL teams with NFL line? What do you think guys like, Drake Greenlaw and Fred Warner are going to do to him?
To them.
Oh my God, they're going to be in his face so much. Anyway, Keyjohn 25 says Mond is the best quarterback in this draft for the 49ers. Can make every throw, extend plays, big guy. Yeah, he's my guy. I'm almost wondering if they would take him at 12. Because if they would take Mac Jones at 12, I prefer Mond to Jones. I wonder how high Mond is going to end up going in this draft because it seems like all of a sudden he's getting a lot of momentum.
I do think that Mond is building up his stock right now with the Senior Bowl and with his season. He was an under-the-radar player. I do think that you were the first who wrote about him, that he could be a great fit for the 49ers. And to be honest, I'm not really sure that he can be a great fit for the 49ers. And it's just because of Kyle Shanahan. Because what I know about Kyle is there's something which he doesn't like from his quarterback, and it's something that you call creativity.
That's funny. Here's the thing. Let me just make the case real quick for Mond. I almost feel like they've beaten the creativity out of him at Texas A&M. Well, the one thing Chris Sims said was, hey, man, like, you can improv more. Use your athleticism. And you see it like he's really faithful to the plays that Jim Bo Fisher calls. I think, unlike Lance and Fields, Mond has that quick release and is so good on slants and in-breaking routes over the middle, which is the majority of the 49ers passing game. He can execute all the stuff that Jimmy Garoppolo executes as a passer. The stuff between the numbers, the stuff inside of 20 yards. I think he's got a much better deep ball down the middle. That one that Jimmy Garoppolo missed in the Senior Bowl, Kellen Mond can hit that. The question with him is his anticipation and accuracy outside the numbers, which is fair. You can see it on film. But you know what would help that? Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel. He's never played with guys like that. I'd like to see. Just kind of like how Justin Herbert, like, oh, all of a sudden you give him Keenan Allen. Oh, yeah, that's really going to help. He's never played with someone like that before.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what kind of upside he has. I might be imagining the upside because when you watch the film, it's not extremely sexy. I mean, there's not a lot of huge plays. It's Texas A&M. But I'm trying to imagine him in like an offense like this one. And I think he can execute what Jimmy does, plus not turn the ball over all the freaking time. Plus, he can take off and scramble like on 2 third downs a game, which is something you want. I think he's good for 2 first downs with his legs a game. And Jimmy Garoppolo, if he ever ran more than 10 yards, he might tear his ACL again. I mean, his longest run of his life, he tore his ACL was 13 yards. I'd like a quarterback who can actually go and run when the defense plays 2 deep safeties and man across the board and has no spy on the quarterback. And it's hard to throw against that. They're basically saying, hey, man, you can't move. You're not an athlete. We're going to take away all your throwing lanes. Okay, well, Kellen Mond can beat you anyway.
Yeah.
Kellen Mond needs to pay me if I'm going to keep talking about it.